All right, we are back online. How are you all doing? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Age Media. This one's going to be even more fun than the last one. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Doing all right.
Very good. So, JC, what's been up, man? Like, what have you been like really busy? What's happening?
I've been busy because I'm editing a short film that I made, and it's for like a little contest, not like a serious contest, just like a fun contest, just for fun or whatever. But it's like due next week, so I'm just all my time is spent on editing that thing. So I'm gonna like go back to editing it after this podcast.
That is awesome. So, what contest is this?
It's for Film Riot. It's I don't know if you've ever heard of them. It's like these guys who they're also filmmakers that they they haven't made feature films, but they made like really good short films, and they're just like really good, and they put on YouTube videos that kind of show how they make their videos, how they make their short films and stuff. So I follow them, and then they do this like a monthly contest where they pick a different genre every month, and they let their fans make a short film, and then there's first place, second place, third place, and stuff. And yeah.
So what's your film about? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the genre is film noir. It's like about this guy and a girl who they were together, but then they weren't because the girl cheated on him. But so it's basically just about them like figuring it out. Like,
so are you 100% behind the camera, or will you be acting in this as well?
I already made it, but I directed it and acted in it, and then just I did some of the shots. Am I? Yes.
Okay, fantastic. That is good stuff, man. Keep us posted on it. We're gonna switch up the order a little bit since we are talking about a noir film. Why don't you tell us about this new development on the whole Batman thing, the new Batman movie?
Well, I thought this was interesting just because I didn't even know that a new Batman movie was planned to be made. So I suppose it's the same universe and all with what DC's doing right now. Ben Affleck as Batman, but there have been issues with the pre-production and stuff because they keep changing writers, keep changing the story. It sounds to me like they've gone back. They started over again, got new writers, and the director. I guess this article says the director for this new Batman film is Matt Reeves, and he just made a War on the Planet of the Apes that just came out, and that's supposedly very good. I haven't seen it yet, but seems from what I've heard, it's doing pretty good. And so yeah, it's like the article goes on to mention that a Batman noir film isn't new, which I can I guess that makes sense. But it's interesting, I personally am a fan of film noir, so I think I kind of like the idea of a Batman noir film. Like very into like the detective like style movies, and so I'm kind of excited for it. But then again, it's DC, and the only progress that they've made is with Wonder Woman so far, with mixed reviews for like the other Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad. So I'm still kind of like not sure if they're doing the right thing. I mean, not that I know too much, I mean, I just read this article and stuff, but like 3 movies in a row with mixed reviews, I'm kind of like worried, for their next films, but they did a good job with Wonder Woman, so I guess there's hope. So I guess my question to y'all is, how do you like that idea of a film noir Batman, or do you have any other comments?
I think it makes sense. I mean, I don't know a ton about Batman as a character because I'm not. I think I mentioned before I'm a Marvel fan, but I do know that Batman's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, right? Like that's his canon And as World's Greatest Detective, it makes sense that he would be in a noir style film, because that's kind of the whole detective motif, right? So I think it could be exciting.
I have actually somehow reluctantly been keeping tabs on the new Batman movie because right after the Dark Knight series ended, one of the rumors that was bubbling was they're finally going to do Batman Beyond, and I was like pretty excited for it because after like 3, 5, 7, just within my lifetime. I guess I wasn't born for the Tim Burton movies, but still, I watched them. So, so like 7 Batman movies. I was pretty tired of Bruce Wayne, and I was like really excited to move on to the Terry McGinnis or someone new. But then Ben Affleck was cast as Batman, and I was like, yeah. And turns out he was not the worst thing in the new Batman versus Superman movie, but I still don't like him. I don't want him anywhere near the property. And what has happened is that like it took Ben Affleck a lot of time to get out of the whole Daredevil thing. Daredevil did hurt his career, although his personal life was greatly involved with that as well, which caused a little dip in his career. So, but he's been like really unhappy with the review according to the Polygon article as well, and so he had like surrendered the directing duties because he did not want the full blame for whatever disaster that might happen. Uh, so so as I mentioned, I want to move beyond Bruce Wayne, but if we can do something new with the character, I suppose it's not the worst thing. And the idea of a noir thing, let's see how that works out. Let's see how that floats. So yeah, I'm not so cynical towards it. Let's see how that works, if it ever even gets to production.
Yeah, I like what you said, Colin, because I never really thought about Batman as being like a detective. Because we've got like the Christopher Nolan movies and I guess the Batman versus Superman. And it's more just about like a superhero and like action stuff.
What are you talking about? Come on. He's like a detective in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I mean, like now that you mentioned it, it was like, oh yeah, but I guess I kind of like forgot because
the Christopher Nolan movies made him into James Bond. He was like I remember the scene where he he gets a bunch of bricks and he loads a machine gun with different rounds and shoots them into the brick and does the whole caliber. That was like so cool. Like that was the thing about Christopher Nolan movies, that they were all scientific and method. I can't say the word. Oh my god. Method.
What? I don't even know what.
Methodical. There we go.
Oh, methodical.
Methodical?
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, so let's see how that movie turns out. Anything will be better than Batman versus Superman at this point, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. So next up, from shitty movies to shitty coffee. This is a story right out of BBC. I love coffee, and I'm a big fan of Starbucks. Starbucks actually serves as our meeting place because that's where we meet up often and discuss the show. So the story
I'm just kidding.
the story is a little close to home, but basically, the BBC's Consumer Affairs Watchdog program found that iced coffee from 3 of the United Kingdom's biggest coffee chains, Starbucks, Costa Coffee, and Cafe Nero, had been contaminated with bacteria found in feces. Uh, head of the Head of policy at the Chartered Institute of Environmental Health, Tony Lewis, told BBC that the level of bacteria found at these chains was concerning, and the type of bacteria identified were a source of human disease. And basically, as far as samples are concerned, they took 10 samples of ice collected from all these stores, and in Starbucks and Cafe Nero, which is I'm assuming a UK-based coffee shop. They found 3 out of 10, whereas Costa was exponentially higher at 7 out of 10. That's over 100% more. So 70% of their coffees have fecal bacteria. Uh, Starbucks has responded to it that they're taking this very seriously, and all they have said is that they will be investigating this internally. I have a friend who works at Starbucks. This problem, we don't know if this is a US problem because nobody has, to my knowledge, has done a study on it. But like I have friends who work at, I just have one current friend who's working at Starbucks, and they take hygiene pretty seriously. And they have their own ice machine, so you just the ice automatically dispenses it. It makes ice in there and it goes directly into the cup. In some other places, you have to scoop the ice. You have an ice machine in the back, and you have to fill up the machines in the front. So you can have problems in that regard. If the scoop is not clean or you're not. So shit, man. Like this is bad. What do we make of this? Shit.
I mean, I don't know how much of that bacteria can survive the, like, I'm trying to think of where the source of this might be coming from, right? But my thoughts are like all the way down the supply chain, probably not like where the beans come into
No, this is the
the
problem in the
supply
ice.
chain.
This is the problem in the ice.
This is an ice problem.
Yeah, this is
So not nothing to do with the beans, nothing to do with the actual coffee, but the ice.
yeah, this is a store problem. Costa Coffee has responded that they have they're restructuring their ice handling treatments because this problem is in iced coffee. So please stick with
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
one.
So okay, so yeah, then I mean this is just plain concerning then that this kind of bacteria would be found in ice, which is probably, manufactured on site in most cases. Well, I say manufactured, but created on site. Maybe it has something to do with
Colin,
the water
Colin,
they use.
don't go
I
so
couldn't
deep.
say.
Don't go so deep. I just have a simple question for you. When we meet up next week for our meeting, are we still meeting at Starbucks?
I mean, I don't.
That's the only question. Are we having our next meeting at Starbucks? Because I have to buy you all coffee anyways.
I don't drink coffee, so I mean, I'm not affected by this really in any way, shape, or form. It's not something that bothers me in terms of my consumption habits.
All right, so you're coming to Starbucks then. JC, are we gonna be going to Starbucks?
Well, I don't think I will for a while. I mean, then again, it sounds like it's not in the U.S. that the problem resides,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like I like coffee, but I usually only drink it when it's like free. Like if I'm going to my friend's house and they have coffee, I usually don't go out of my way to purchase coffee, just because I don't. I just think it's a waste of money to like drink a cup of coffee every day when I can just like get it for free like somewhere like every other day.
Am I buying you coffee next week?
I like coffee. Like I'll drink it. I like
Okay,
it. It's just I don't want to like.
Okay, so there
I'm
you have
not
it.
addicted to it.
This is the conclusion.
I can survive without coffee.
Age Media is going to be having coffee next week.
HEB? What?
Age Media, not HEB.
Oh. I said HEB.
Okay, that's it. That's great. Okay. HEB. All right. So next up, this is my favorite story of the week. Okay, and who likes to eat beef?
I do.
I do. What's your favorite dish?
Just like a hamburger. Like you mean like a meat dish hamburger?
Just big juicy hamburger. Nice, nice. Colin, what about you?
Like with red meat in it. I mean,
Or pork?
I mean, I like a good steak every once in a while.
You don't sound like someone who has a lot of meat.
I mean, I'm trying to cut back my meat consumption, especially red meat, but like, you know, on special occasions, a steak is nice.
I see. Well, JC, you and me have a bit of a problem. Let me show you what's happening in the Lone Star State. I'm going to start screen sharing now, edit this part out. We're doing pretty good. We're making good time, man. We're almost down to the final story, and I'm like just pushing down the other one because that's really heavy.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know we were going to be talking about this until I saw it on the thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm not feeling confident. I'm gonna push the Abdullah Al-Omari to the now that I've screwed up, right, and I pushed it down. The problem is we might end. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see how we feel after this. So
yeah,
here we go.
but I was going to say that like the this
One
whole
second.
tick thing.
There's
There's
a video.
um,
Can
do
I
you
see
know
the
the
video?
there's another podcast.
One second, I can't hear you. Music is
Okay.
playing. Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. Are you going to be commenting over this or were you saying something else?
Oh, I was kind of. There's another podcast that that I listen to. It's a really popular podcast. It's called oh man, and all of a sudden I'm blanking on its name. Give me a
All right,
second.
just write it down when you remember it. I'm going to start, doing the voiceover on this video. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, here we go. All right, so say hello to this little tick right here. This tick's bite can make you allergic to meat. That's it. Red meat, pork, everything gone. It's called the Lone Star tick, and it rewrites your DNA on a molecular level and makes your immunity alpha gel finish. That means you no longer have meat. Look at those juicy, juicy hamburgers and say goodbye to them, JC. It's originally found in the southeastern US states, but now it's starting to spread. And it's spreading all the way up north. And things are gonna get pretty bad because going. And I did some oh yeah, and one last thing, there is no cure for this. There is no vaccine. You may be able to manage it, but if you're a fan of red meats, you're gonna be screwed. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So take a note, take a page out of Colin's notebook and start enjoying the veggies because this virus is starting to spread. Now, I did a little bit of research and as to why. So all of this, it comes down to global warming. And because as the earth is getting hotter, this tick is able to, multiply in other areas that it couldn't do previously. I also looked into it a little bit more and I looked up two statistics from the World Health Organization. The first one shows that there is in terms of global warming, 18% of global warming is caused by agriculture, specifically cows. When you have mass meat farming ranches, when they're kept, in these closed conditions and the diet that they are fed, they fart a lot, man. And that fart contains methane, and that's rivaling car pollution. So that's the one fact. Another fact that I looked up, again from the World Health Organization, and you will see it pop up on the screen right here in post-production, which will show that our meat consumption has been exponentially increasing over the years. So, just like global warming, just like, mass farming and, an unnatural amount of cows on the planet, this is Mother Nature fighting back. JC, you don't sound too amused, or don't look so amused, rather.
I don't know. I just thought that your way of putting it was kind of interesting.
I've been like meaning to cut back on meat for because at this point, aside from my breakfast, both my meals have like an animal product in them, and even my breakfast, if I'm having cereal, it contains milk or eggs. It's only a few times a week that I have like oatmeal. So, I get it. I'm aware of it that, meat consumption is out of control. Like, you know, back compared to statistics, even like 20 years back, we are consuming a lot more meat than we did. So it kind of resonates with me. It kind of makes sense. And from a personal standpoint, I would just like to take control of this situation before the tick comes in and does it for me, man. So yes, Miss Hamburger, what do we make of this?
Well, it's hard for me to believe that this actually exists. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe it exists, but it's just like how does that? I don't understand how that's possible. Like, how can a tick make somebody allergic to meat? Like that didn't like I thought you had to be born with allergies, not like I didn't think allergies can be like.
Okay, I have a question.
Well, I mean, I understand it's not really an allergy. It's it's I read the article or whatever, and it made sense, but it's just still it's like what, like how is that even possible?
Let me give it to you. I think this is your meat love causing a little denial.
What's
Because you like Spider-Man, right? He got his powers from a spider.
what? Well, what was the point of
You don't have a problem
that's
believing in Spider-Man.
okay. So you're saying that
Yeah, that's what
it's like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was like
The
really
spider,
it
you
was a
get
really
bit by this
stupid thing
tick,
to say.
you
Yeah.
become allergic to.
So you get super vegan powers.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be horrible. Nightmare.
What's going on? That's a good brief frame. I like that.
Did you see? He was like
I think did he drop out of the call?
he just,
I think he's gone.
that's funny. His face. He's just like.
What power?
You don't need the battery, something. I can take the battery
Yeah,
out.
this laptop doesn't have. Hey guys, my internet
Can you
just
flash the computer?
not my internet. Crap. My laptop. I need to do a Windows system restore.
That's what Windows sucks.
Shut up. So I have a problem. Can you okay? So I have a problem in my laptop where it just goes to sleep. Like the Windows does not recognize how much battery is left in the laptop. So that's what just happened. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the conclusion bit again, and hopefully I can edit it into a nice little package. And the thing is, I completely forgot what the crap I was supposed to say.
You were like. And
I
then
was
you
like,
just, like,
in conclusion, what was I going to say? What was my super fantastic conclusion? I forgot my conclusion. I had an awesome conclusion to this.
Did you see the thing I put in our chat?
The extremely popular podcast Radio Lab covered this story in detail in October last year. It was a really good episode. LOL, Bilal, you cut out, gone.
Yeah. So
and my name is BF Zia in the show.
Okay.
But
yeah, like
yeah.
Radio Lab.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind. Like I don't know if you mind, but like shout out to Radio Lab. They're a really awesome podcast. They air on NPR and NPR affiliated stations all the time. And they did like a really great episode on this alpha gal thing. And like if you want to hear a story about this whole thing told by someone who actually got bitten by this tick before we knew what was going on with it, like it's a really good episode. Go listen to it, Radio Lab. Like it's a good listen. it's really informative too about the whole situation.
Yeah, it's actually I watched a couple of news stories on it. It's actually pretty hard to diagnose as well because it has multiple symptoms.
Hmm.
Like nausea, rash, and there were two other symptoms listed. So sometimes it can take up to 6 months for this to be diagnosed. I had such
Yeah.
a fantastic thing to say. It was the perfect way to, you know,
You, I think the last thing that was said was Colin said like the tick gives you super vegan powers, and then you were gonna and then BF you were gonna say oh, you said like Miss Hamburger, like, and then you were about to say something, but that was when you went
yeah,
haywire.
yeah. I'm just probably gonna try to uh, fix it in editing. So I think we'll end the podcast right here, and because maybe we can meet up sooner on Monday or okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna go off here.